Hello everyone, this is Book for the Painting here, and this is part 2 of my July TBR. If you haven't seen my first part of my video, which is up there, or at the end of the video, or description, all is below, you won't know this, but if you have, then you know this. My July TBR was a huge, crazy amount of books. And so it's just like, you know what? I'm going to put in 4 parts. Which was my mom's idea, and it was a great idea on hers. And so I'm doing that. So this is part 2. This is contemporary buddy reads that I'm doing, contemporary buddy reads and book of the months of Goodreads, and I'm really excited to talk about this. Also, if anybody ever wants to do like a buddy read or like talk about book clubs or anything like that, please comment down below, because I really want to start to do more buddy reads outside of Goodreads. And also, I really want to be part of a book club again. And book club kind of failed. So, if you ever want to talk about that, please comment down below and we will talk. But, or follow me on Instagram, which is at book.fairy.with.and.opinion. Basically a period after every word except for the opinion of my channel name. So if you want to talk about it, great. Be so much fun. And yeah. But if you don't, that's okay too. So anyways, let's start with this video. So again, this is contemporary reads of buddy reads and book of the months of this month through Goodreads or maybe Instagram. We'll see. The first book on this list is Counting Down With You by Tashie Bhuiyan. And this book is about a Bangladeshi teenage girl who thinks that, her family is kind of expecting her to become a doctor and to do all these things, and also believes that really only studying is really the answer to it right now, not social life, not anything else, definitely not dating, and also not what she really wants to do, which is English. Nothing is as important as being a doctor, doing science, stuff like that. And of course, that's not what she wants. But luck is out for her when she finds out that her parents are going to be gone for 28 days in Bangladesh. And she's able to have her freedom. She's able to be with her grandmother, Dadu, who loves her and wants, really shows her the availability of having freedom and stuff like that. Doesn't really care about the expectations that her parents set out for her. As well as she has her friends and stuff like that, and she gets to have her social life. That's until she starts tutoring a boy who is the rumored bad boy. He ends up, instead of telling his parents and family that he is being tutored, he tells them that they are dating. So they have to have this like fake dating situation for about the whole time that her parents are gone. Because of course she knows that as soon as her parents come back, that won't be able to happen anymore. So she is kind of counting down the days until she starts realizing that she really might be falling for her ace, who's the resident bad boy, and she might start liking him and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how it's gonna end. I actually have already started reading this book, and I'm feeling kind of a lot of different vibes of it, but specifically the family expectations thing is really giving me vibes of 3 books. And I will start out with the one I actually have in print, which is American Panda, and by Gloria Chao. If you've never read this, I will just read it. Please read it. It's really good. But this book is about a girl named, sorry, I need to remember the names. A girl named, Meilu, whose parents, whose basically mom really wants her to have a family and have kids and all this kind of stuff, as well as being a doctor. The problem is that one, she's a germaphobe, so she can't handle being a doctor. She's fallen asleep in biology, and she loves dancing, which her parents allowed her to do before, but now is not willing to let her do. And the only other problem is that her parents want her to marry a Taiwanese man, but the only person that she's found attractive recently is a Japanese guy named Darren Takahashi, who obviously is not Taiwanese. So it kind of is her struggle and family secrets that come out and all this kind of stuff, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good representation of different things. I like how she at first only have many good friends at the beginning of the book, but then she kind of gains friends, not only with Darren, but also she gains friends with her roommates and other people. So I really enjoyed it. Read. The other two books I also recommend would be When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon, and it's about a Dimple who wants to code for a major and stuff like that, and wants to go to this coding summer camp called InsomniaCon, and her parents, her mother specifically again, really wants her to marry and have a family just like American Panda, and doesn't really care about the rest of the stuff. But, in some reason, I don't remember reason why, but she ends up convincing her parents to let her to go to InsomniaCon, which she's like, yay, finally! And that's when she ends up running into Rishi, who she finds out is the person who her parents want her to marry, or, arrange the relationship or something like that. And at first she's like really mad at everybody being involved in this, but then is kind of like, okay, well, what about this? What about, instead I'll do this. I'll, do this camp, let it go, whatever, and then see where things go. And, of course, like every situation, they fall in love. They eventually fall for each other. But before that, there's different circumstances they have to deal with, and specifically, Rishi and Dimple having very different personalities. Dimple is very much like, I really want to do coding, I really want to follow my dreams, I don't really care about the family expectations, I don't really care about arranged marriage, all this kind of stuff. And Rishi, who has dreams and has wants and likes certain things, but is so, so believing in the family expectations and the culture that they live in, that he doesn't really care about all of it. He's not willing to damage the relationship with his parents by following his dreams. Well, that's that kind of difference and other things as well. It's pretty good. It's not my favorite contemporary romance, but it is very good. So I recommend. And the third one, which is my favorite out of these three, which is I'll Be the One by Lyla Lee. I love this book, and I just found out actually recently that the author's gonna come out with a new book, and just recently came out with another book, and I'm like, I want to read so badly. Before I discuss that, the book is about a plus-sized girl named Sky Shin, who is Korean, and her mother is so believing that she is fat and that she shouldn't do certain things to move her body in certain ways and stuff like that to show her her size, I guess I would say. And but the problem is that one, Sky doesn't really care. At first she cared, but then eventually she was like, no, I look beautiful, I look amazing, I look fantastic, and I want to do the things I want to do. So she kind of rebels against it, especially since, and then it kind of gets worse, so then she ends up auditioning for a K-pop contest that's going to happen. And so there's two things you can do. You can do singing or dancing or both. And she decides to do both. And her mom is okay with her doing it because there's singing involved. But she doesn't know that she's also going to do dancing. Which, of course, somebody who, you know, is rejecting of somebody's size, they probably want them to do dancing because it's moving the body in certain ways, and that size will maybe be looked upon. So, anyways, she ends up going on the contest and going for both things. And, of course, there's some, even in the contest, there is some definite issues that come across and come up. Some of the judges like are very much against her being auditioning, and against, you know, are very fat phobic. And so, but there's a lot of things that happen, and I think it's a book full of body positivity, and a book full of, there's also LGBT rep. The two main characters who are in a romance together, they're both bi, and I think is a lesbian couple as another side couple, as well as some great body positivity things, as well as, you know, really the message of loving yourself, you know? So in the end, she realizes that she didn't go to the contest only for, you know, her mom, like going against her mom, but also she finds some other things that were involved in the contest too. I think it's just a sweet, beautiful contemporary romance about really tricky subjects that don't really get talked about a lot, especially fat phobia does not get talked about enough. I feel really sad about that because I am plus sized, and that needs to be talked about more. I mean, literally, some people are completely healthy, and I mean, I'm not sure, I'm not gonna say about me, but you know, some people are very, very healthy and they are plus size. That's perfectly okay. So please, everyone, please don't body shame people in any form, okay? In any form. Anyways. So those three books are really great, but also the elements of the Counting Down with You. It also has the elements of anxiety representation, which is something I also have, which is very important to me. I also saw some, like, you know, enemies to lovers sort of situations, like somewhat, not really, opposites attract, definitely, and some different ones. So it's a really enjoyable read so far. I've read pretty far along so far, but I will see what's gonna happen next and see if I like it the best. So again, the wrap at the end of the month, there'll be a July wrap that I will talk about all of my books that I'm reading, as well as I'm gonna be doing a video way longer, farther than July, that I'm gonna talk about contemporary reads and books that I read, and what I thought about them and stuff like that, as well as recommendations for contemporary reads, because there's some really great ones and some really ones that, you know, are not represented enough. So please. Anyways, let's get going. So the second one, so let's go to the second one's list, is Charming as a Verb by Philippe, which is another book that I actually not started, but I actually finished this book. So the first book I obviously started, but second book I actually finished already. So you might get some of my thoughts right now, but not too many, because I want to keep it for the wrap up at the end. But this book is about a boy named Henry Haltewinger, or what everyone calls him, Halty, who is a charmer. He thinks that you can get away with anything or do anything as long as you have a smile connected to your face. No, not any kind of smile, not a grin, not a smirk, but a genuine smile. And he uses it with his friends, his family, his strangers, his teachers, all his people. especially in his dog walking business. And everyone kind of believes in his charm, and everyone kind of believes that he is charming and his smile works, except for one person, and that's Corinne Troy, who ends up blackmailing him because she ends up finding out that his business is not on the up and up, that he is the only dog walker, that he is the business owner, and nobody knows that. But, and she ends up blackmailing him to convince people to be friends with her. Because what she found out from a teacher reference letter is that she's really intense, and so she really wants to make friends to prove the teacher wrong. Which also seems very intense, but yeah. This book I have mixed feelings with. I have mixed feelings about it, but I'm gonna say the positives, some of the positives. So let's see. This is kind of like a blurb that I tend to do in the front, like on the top of reviews of on Goodreads, because I like to just like basically state like certain things, like specific things that I really think of. It's like a summary, and then people can keep going if they want to, but just a bold thing right at the top, and that is all the feels laugh out loud hilarity, great characters of a good YA rom-com novel with real issues dealing with race, immigration status, socioeconomic level, and sometimes the degrees you would go to chase your dreams. So that's kind of what I think of when I think of this book. The main character, I want to rant a little bit later, but the main character I'm not a huge fan of. But I love Corinne. Probably my new fictional crush, probably. I'm not sure. We'll see. But, yep. So, let's keep on going. The third book on the list is Henna Wars by Adiba Jaigirdar. And this book is a sapphic romance, which is a woman romance, a girl and girl romance. And so it's about. And this is When Dimple Met Rishi, which we've already talked about, obviously, and Simon versus the Homo Sapiens, which, if you don't know what Simon versus Homo Sapiens is basically about a boy named Simon who who's a very nice person who is struggling but also dealing with his stuff easily, and having to deal with somebody who is blackmailing him to come out of the closet. And though I've heard about it, I don't really want to hear about it more because I want to read it, and I haven't read it yet. So, hopefully it's a recommendation for me because I've heard really good things about it. But let's move on. So it's kind of like the When Dimple Met Rishi, but in a sapphic romance kind of thing. So, this is the description I said. So when Nisha comes out to her parents, they say she can be anyone she wants as long as she isn't herself. Because Muslims, girls, aren't lesbians. Nisha doesn't want to hide who she is, but she also doesn't want to lose her relationship with her parents. And her life can only get harder once a childhood friend walks back into her life. Flavia is beautiful and charismatic, and Nisha falls for her instantly, but when a school competition invites her students to create their own businesses, both Flavia and Nisha do henna. The problem is that Nisha feels like Flavia is appropriating her culture. So amidst sabotage and school stress, their lives get more tangled, but Nisha can't quite get rid of her crush on Flavia and realizes there might be more to her than she realizes. So we get romance, but also some issues involved and other things. So I think it's gonna be really good. I'm really hopefully gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be the book of the month actually for one of the groups I'm in. this month, and I'm really excited because I want to see what I think about it. And I've heard good things from some booktubers like Jenny, who said some really great things about it, as well as some other booktubers. So, I really hope I like it. Of course, you guys already know how much I love When Dimple Met Rishi, but I also like the LGBT version of it, which is very interesting to me. And I like the Family Expeditions vibe of it. I think really what I'm really into right now is books about family expeditions for contemporary romances, because it's just something that is very interesting to me. You know, having a family being an issue in a relationship. I don't know. It's just, you know, dealing with figuring out if you're going to choose family versus, you know, your relationship, or if there's a middle ground. You know, you never know. But I digress. Let's continue on. The fourth book on this list is Slade by Brittney Morris. And that book is about a 17-year-old college student, Kira Johnson, who is by day one of the only black kids at Jefferson Academy. By night, she joins hundreds of thousands of gamers, black gamers who duel worldwide in the secret online role-playing card game Slay. No one knows Kira's the game developer, not even her boyfriend Malcolm. But when a teen in Kansas City is murdered over a dispute in Slay World, the media labels it as exclusionist, racist hub for thugs. With threats coming from both inside and outside the game, Kira must fight to save the safe space she's created, but can she protect Slay without losing herself? Wow. Sounds intense. Of course, me, I think about it, I'm just like, this one's really good. Now, think of 3 books that remind you of this. So, I'm gonna do that. I am the perfect person, probably the booktuber to do the if you like this, you'll like this kind of videos. So I will eventually do that because I think those kind of things are amazing, and I will eventually do that. But I'm planning to do a bunch of them. But let's start with this. So the first book, I'm gonna name 3 books that actually relate to this, and I really think that this is kind of perfect for them. And each of them dealing with like the different issues within the book. So one, you know, dealing with the racial issues, one dealing with the video game or the role-playing games aspect of it, and the third one dealing with like the secret identity part, like that nobody knows that she's a game developer and stuff like that. So the first one is Ace of Spades by Faridah Àbíké-Íyímídé. This book is related to the racial part. So this book is about Chiamaka and Devon, who find out it's their senior year, and they go to a private academy called Niveus. And they find out that they're selected to these elite parts of their school, which are senior and head prefect. And everything is going great. They're excited about it. Devon is a little bit confused about it, but Chiamaka is having a fun time until this anonymous entity starts spreading rumors and actually like telling their secrets to like the whole school and outside of school, and it kind of becomes kind of crazy disaster because of it. So this deals with race. It does. This is all I really know about it. I'm not gonna say anything more because I don't want to, because I think everyone should read this book without knowing much. So that's the description I know. I know that it's Get Out meets Gossip Girl. As well as both of these characters are queer. So Chiamaka is queer, Devon is gay. And the last one is just that the book is mystery thriller. So that's all you're gonna know from me. You're not gonna know anything more. I tell a little bit more in my Goodreads review if you want to follow me on Goodreads. But not much because I don't want to write much, because this book should just be enjoyed without reviews. Anybody who spoils this book, I think, is not really good, because that's the point of the book. I feel like the book is properly enjoyed without spoilers, without reviews, without knowing much except for the summary and those little bits. So read it if you want to read it. It's intense at times, but it's also really, really good, and I recommend it completely. Read it if you want to. So let's move on. The second book that is on here for this description of this book, or related to this book, if you want recommendations or anything like that, is this book, Warcross by Marie Lu. I also have the second book, so I'm going to talk about that in a second. But this book, Marie Lu, Warcross, wonderful book. It is about a alternate reality where everybody's really obsessed with a virtual reality game called Warcross. It's kind of like, I would say it's like Capture the Flag, but better. Cool, like really cool virtual reality obstacles and all this different stuff. It's really, really cool. But because the whole world is really obsessed with this game, and it's like just a common thing to be in this world, in the virtual world, that there is actual criminals related to the world. And so because there's so much crime, because of this extra element, the police actually are more frequently to give money out to bounty hunters who will help solve, get the criminals. So, and this book is about Mika Chen, who is one of the bounty hunters. And after one of her bounty hunts, she ends up going into the game and glitching herself into the Warcross championships, and gets found out. And the next day, gets a call from the creator of Warcross, Hideo Tanaka, and who tells her to come to Tokyo, where the Warcross championships are, to have a talk with her, to talk with him. And she's like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna go to jail? And but she ends up he ends up asking her to go into the game, to disguise herself to go into the game, and to find a hacker that had been trying to hack into the game, named Zero. And I have complicated feelings about the book. So one thing I gotta say is main character's not my favorite main character at all. She's not. She's just not. She is very relatable, but she also is... She takes the hero complex way too far in the first book, I feel like. She, believes that her role doing, finding this hacker and stuff like that takes over the fact that she might be hurting her friends and stuff. So I'm not a huge fan of Amika in the first book, but guys, Wildcard, my favorite book, one of my favorite books recently. I love this book. I will read it constantly, especially since I read the first one. I don't even have to read the first one again. I'll read this book again. Because I love this book. This is a fantastic book. But this book is the second book in the series. I'm not going to tell you anything about it because it will spoil everything. But it's basically 8 days after Warcross happened. And yeah, so that's all I'm going to tell you. But great characters, great relationships, great friendships. Amika's better. Just all the characters are better. Just everything is better with this one. And I will do a whole thing, a whole video about these two books, and I will eventually. If you guys want it, I will do it. So, anyways, thank you again, Jenny, for helping me find this series, and I will love it always. Anyways, let's move on. So, the last two books that are related to this, Slay by Brittney Morris are What I About You by Marisa Kanter is about Hallie Levitt. She's an awkward girl recently living with her grandfather in Connecticut. She doesn't really know what to expect since most of her life she spent traveling the world with her Academy Award winning or nominated documentarian parents and brother. She's never had a real high school experience. Now she is here because she wants to be there for her grandfather after her grandma's recent death. She doesn't think really anything else will come out of this year, but she meets Nash. The thing is, Nash and her already know each other, but he doesn't know her because he is the best friend of her secret online identity, Kels. Kels is super cool, popular, sarcastic, and the creator of One True Pastry, a book and cupcake blog. She is, cupcake blog. She's fine that they are separated until she starts falling for Nash. He still doesn't know that it's her. So, it's about books and cupcakes and wonderfulness and has romance and all this kind of stuff. You also want to yell at the main character a lot of times because she doesn't tell Nash who she is and stuff, and you feel kind of bad for Nash. But besides that, really good book. I also like the her relationships and friendships that she started with at her high school, as well as just the different personalities that they both have. Hallie is so awkward and weird and not what you would think of as Kels, who is the coolest person in school, basically. But she's like the kind of person in school that would be popular, but not like cheerleader popular, but like more like that girl who does not care what people think kind of popular, the actual cool girl. And also because we're on here on BookTube and we're talking about on book blogs and Bookstagram and stuff like that, it's perfect for this community because it's all about that. The thing that she does is she has cupcakes and books, and her cupcakes are for she'll design book covers and stuff like that, or related cupcakes to books, which I think is super cool and a super cool idea. So yeah, it's really fun. That's my favorite part about it. So anyways, the second book is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. And this book is very similar to that kind of concept. It's a little bit different. So this book is about... So in real life, Eliza Merck is shy, weird, and doesn't have any real life friends. Online, though, she is Lady Constellation, anonymous creator of the popular webcomic Monster Sea. She doesn't care about people being alone offline because she has her online friends and comic. That changes when the new student, Wallace Warland, comes to school. At first, she doesn't care until she finds out that he is a Monster Sea's biggest fan. They start to get close. The whole time, Wallace doesn't know that she is the creator, just thinks that she's another fan. Over time, she starts to think about telling him, but keeps being too scared. Then everything goes to shambles when her secret gets out. So again, another one that you're going to yell at the character all the time for not telling the person because they're a fan of the two, and it's just, why? Annoying. So annoying. But, I still like it. And I relate to Eliza very well. And I think a lot of people in BookTube specifically raves about this book because it's so amazing and so much fun, and the comic part and just everything, and how real her issues are. Like, even besides the whole being famous on, you know, in a comic thing, but just how real she is. And how, like, I like how both of these books, What I Like About, you know, What I Like About You and Eliza Monsters, both of them have similar concepts of just, like, trying to figure out how to be yourself and how to love yourself as you are and all that kind of stuff. I think that's really important. Slay is a little bit different, clearly. It's not really about her loving herself and stuff like that, but it's also somewhat about that too. But her finding herself and finding who she is, which I kind of take as the ending comment about, you know, does she want to save the game, or does she want to, you know, does she want to save the game if it might make her lose herself, you know? It's just very interesting concept. Between now and the wrap up, I'm gonna do, actually, I know for sure I'm gonna do the mid-year review freakout tag, because I'm really excited about the mid-year freakout tag, though I'm gonna try and really talk less in the mid-year freakout tag, so we'll see. And then also I'm going to do possibly a review of the new movie on Netflix, Love and Gelato, because I read the book, Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, and I really enjoyed it. So, but we'll see. Things happen, and I think of creative ideas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do that now, and I'll do that. But I will do that eventually. I will do that movie review and book review eventually. But if you guys have any ideas, please comment below, because I always love new ideas. Also, please follow me on Instagram. I have a bookstagram account. It's at book.fairy.with.and.opinion. So my username, bookfairy.with.opinion, but with periods in the middle of each word, except for opinion. And I will have it on the screen right there. And I'll link it down below as well. It will be where I do updates on my YouTube channel and other things, and I will do all these different channel challenges and stuff like that. So I really love Bookstagram, so I will update that more than YouTube probably. So just keep up to date on there, as well as like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.